Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, in the center ring, we have Larz Ulrich in one corner. And in the other, we have Jethro Tull, thick as a brick, baby, 1972. Here on the Clark the Shark Show, I have a special hatred, of course, for Larz Ulrich, because, as we all know, he was the drummer in the Ruddles. He replaced Pete Best, and it has never sat well with your humble servant from the Sharkerphone, not a microphone, Clark the Shark. Let's frame the situation. Ron Nasty and Dirk McQuickley were apparently jealous of Pete Best. 1962, he'd been the drummer for 2 years, but more than a drummer, Pete Best and his mom, Mona Best, they were the Ruddles' de facto management and or gigs at the Casbah, which was Pete Best's home with Mona, and they converted it into a club downstairs. And without the Casbah, you guys, and without Mona Best and Pete Best, there would be no Ruddles today, you guys. No, imagine there's no heaven. You know, yes, I'm lonely, wanna die. There'd be none of that, you guys. The White Album, Sgt. Pepper. I don't give a shit about Dirk McQuickley. You know, Band on the Run and all that crap. Flowers in the Dirt. Please, you guys, it would be a better world here on the Clark the Shark Show without Dirk. But I love Ron Nasty. And thank God there was a Pete Best and his mom back in the UK. Now, the Ruddles would play a lot of shows, not just at the Casbah, but Hamburg. Oh, they go over to Hamburg. And we had Pete because he's a lousy drummer. Well, you guys, Pete strung you guys along. And see, me, Clark the Shark, I would have remembered that detail. That if I was Ron and I was in the Ruddles, I'd be like, dude, Pete was in the band from 1960. I guess it was August 1960 until August 1962. 2 years. That's a fucking eternity, you guys. That's a long time back in the early 60s. Never mind the late. Time back then moved different from now. There was a lot of evolution in the 60s. You know, the 50s, you had Richie Valens and Chuck Berry and Elvis and Gene Vincent. And then, just a decade later in 68, 69, everyone had long hair, big beards, and the music was a lot different, including the Ruddles. But anyway, you guys, long story short, they didn't give a shit about the fact that Pete and his mom put the Ruddles on their back and carried them for 2 years to Hamburg and the Casbah, but all these other gigs. And then all these girls fell in love with Pete. You know, he was good looking. He was kind of like Clark the Shark back when I was young. And who knows, maybe I was thrown out of bands, you know, because the girls, you know, the birds, they loved me. I don't think they really did, you guys. 5'6", come on. But who knows? It's possible here on the Clark the Shit Show, Radio Spectacular, Clark the Shark, the Wolfman Jack on crack. But anyway, let's cut to the future, you guys. Larz, who couldn't fucking drum at all. He was with Rory Storm and the Hurricanes. And he was kind of like a beatnik or something. He had long hair and a beard back in the early 60s in a time when nobody was like that. I admit, Larz was ahead of his time. So when the Ruddles threw Pete Best out of the band unfairly, you guys, they put Larz Ulrich in the band. And Larz actually made time to play with two bands. He also moonlit, if you will, with the Rolling Blunders, of course, with Mick and Keith. And he fucking sucks on drums in that band. And he sucks on drums, as we all know, of course, with the Ruddles. He went on to a big career, 8 years with the band. They broke up. You know, Chastity Hitler came into the studio 1969 when they were recording Let It Rot. And Larz and others were unhappy. Of course, they never spoke with or mentioned Pete Best really ever again. I don't even think to this day Dirk McQuickley acknowledges Pete. But as time went on, you know, of course, they were famous and huge. You know, the girls were throwing their underwear at the band. And they played Shea Stadium and all these big gigs. But, you guys, eventually Larz Ulrich got into this new band called Metallica after he was with the Ruddles. And he still couldn't fucking play drums at all. He has one good album, Master of Puppets. All his other fucking albums suck. Like, it sounds like, dude. Well, it frankly sounds like Larz Ulrich is drumming. I can't think of a worse drummer. He's it, you guys. Now, Larz had the audacity. You know, he built up a little cred in the music industry. And one day he decided to run his mouth about this band, Jethro fucking Tull. Maybe not in particular this album, Thick as a Brick. This awesome, incredible album, you guys. Jethro Tull have so many amazing albums. And today, of course, as we know, Jethro Tull is very tainted, if you will. It's almost like the band has skin cancer. And who knows, maybe Jethro Tull is faking that they have skin cancer. And SSA, the Social Security admin, will mail Jethro Tull a letter and say, you guys got to take a psych evaluation if you want to stay on SSDI, Jethro Tull. We know you guys are hurt, you're scarred, you're tainted from the fact that Larz Ulrich, the worst fucking drummer in the history of percussion, had the nerve and the gall, if you will, to diss you. But you got to come into a place called Ewing Diagnostic. And Jethro Tull, we think you need some help. And plus, we know you're faking the skin cancer thing. It's not real, and we're going to cut you off. Get a load of the fucking our government right now, what Elon Musk is doing. And I'm a big fan of Elon Musk and Trump. I love the fact that they're trying to fire every one of these government hacks that work at, you know, UFDA or all this shit, dude, or all these useless government buildings that are just sucking on our 40 trillion debt, you guys. God bless them. More power to them to get rid of those people drinking coffee all day and working at the Gov, getting a good pension. And most of these people go out on sickness or injury, or they never retire, you guys. They get the max right here on the Clark the Shit Show. So, yeah, dude, why does my camera do that? I didn't ask it to time out. Baby, I got Thick as a Brick, Jethro Tull, right here on the Clark the Shark Radio Spectacular for, I guess it's Tuesday, March 18, 2025 today, you guys. One of my favorite all-time albums, but I'm tainted also by the fact that Larz Ulrich, he actually called a psych diagnostic, you guys, and he reported Jethro Tull as crazy. And this fucking guy can't even play drums at all. And he had dude, I don't even want to say his disgusting name. I'll just say the fucking horrible drummer in Metallica. And a little side note, little sidebar. One time Metallica played with Dave Lombardo. Just one time, I think, you guys. Maybe twice. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But it was like the only time Metallica was ever good because they had a real drummer. Not Larz. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show, spectacular extravaganza, the Wolfman Jack on crack, Clark the Shark, the greatest talk radio show ever to come out of Torrance, California. And you guys, I was on WABC Radio, New York, but they threw me off the air because they did a psych evaluation at a place called Ewing Diagnostic in San Diego. And it wasn't even Elon Musk. It was someone else, dude, that called in and said, hey, you guys, WABC Radio, we think Sharky's crazy. Plus, he's faking skin cancer. He's had 16, 17 operations, but it's not real. It's an illusion. But Not Thick as a Brick, you guys, by Jethro Tull. This amazing, incredible album. I don't give a shit what Larz says, you guys. I don't care if he's been in the Ruddles. I don't care if he's been in the Rolling Blunders with Mick and Keith. And then later, Metallica hired this creep. They might as well have hired Pete Best, you guys. He's a better drummer. And he's better looking. He gets all the girls. They sleep out in his garden, And, dude, I will be forever scarred and tainted by the fact that Larz had the nerve, you guys. Don't you dare. Dude. I mean, Jethro Tull is one of the greatest bands of all time. And now today, you guys, they're tainted because a lot of young people, well, dude, a lot of people listen to a creep like Larz, quite frankly, you guys, and the fucking guy sucks on drums. What does this fucking Larz guy even know? Side one, as we know, is incredible. Thick as a brick, like a rock opera concept theme. All these, little bits and pieces are connected into a story. Like the Who, Tommy, like the Ruddles, Abbey Road. I don't think the drumming's that good on Abbey Road. Everyone says, oh, listen to Larz. That one break he plays where he's like, dude, fucking big deal, Larz. Yeah, dude. Now, like Aqualung before it, one side's called My God, and, this, side two, it's both called Thick as a Brick. They title this, back when this was vinyl, and, every one of these songs is incredible. You guys, Metallica have no fucking idea who they were talking about with Jethro Tull. But I'm sure they really don't mind. See, there a son is born. The Poet and the Painter, probably the best song on side one. It's all one song, you guys. It's all connected or something. I mean, there are songs, but this is progressive, difficult rock. Time changes. there's real drumming here, you guys. It's not like Larz. Well, listen to Dave Lombardo, you guys. If you want to hear a fucking drummer, don't listen to Larz. Seriously. And I shouldn't be so hard on Larz. The Blue album, Ride the Lightning, and Kill 'Em All, the first album, Master Puppets. Larz is good. Those are the early days of Larz. And then my favorite drumming by him, of course, is, And Justice for All. Pretty interesting drumming there. But then when Metallica sells out with the Black Album, Larz is the first fucking guy in the band to suck the most corporate cock of any member of Metallica. And his drumming becomes a joke, or like you could get a drum machine on the Black Album. I mean, anybody could play that shit. And Larz always justifies it. He says, like, well, I was trying to be like Charlie Watts or Ringo. And I'm all, you already were Charlie Watts and or Ringo, buddy. I should say, moving forward, the Black Album, and then Load, Reload, Saint Anger, all that fucking worthless shit. Yeah, dude. I should say, Larz, you were kind of good in the early days. But then when, you saw some dollar signs, and then you disrespected Jethro Tull. Oh, dude, Legends and Believe in the Day. Tales of Your Life. These are songs, you guys. They're all connected. It's melodic, progressive rock, bluesy. There's woodwind, flutes. It's got a lot of shit going on, you guys. Every one of these guys is relevant. Like, you need them all. Of course, Ian Anderson, with all the shit he does, trumpets, saxophones, woodwind. Martin Bear, of course. John Evan, piano, keyboards. And Jeffrey Hammond, bass guitar, awesome. Barrymore Barlow is a drummer, you guys, who I've reviewed probably thousands of times on YouTube. Now that's a drummer, you guys. Of course, Neil Peart from Rush, in many interviews, says, he loves Keith Moon. Why not, dude? Of course. And he loves, dude, Bill Bruford, of course. Not so much Phil Collins. Fuck that. But Barrymore fucking Barlow, the drummer, dude, of this band, incredible. All these guys are incredible musicians. Ian Anderson takes a beating from critics because he plays a flute. And then when a guy like Lars Ulrich says mean things about him, it doesn't help. It further taints a brilliant musician, genius like Ian Anderson. And then how could Lars say, how could he say, no, Jethro Tull wasn't a metal band, you guys, with that award, the thing that happened with Metallica. But Martin Bear is as fucking awesome as an electric guitar as you'll ever find. So maybe Larz is accurate when he says Jethro Tull wasn't metal, or they never were a metal band or something like that. But, dude, it was inappropriate. Whatever it was the wrong fucking thing to say, Larz. And all these guys, John Evan, Jeffrey Hammond. And, of course, dude, you don't fucking diss any project, any musical concept with Barrymore Barlow in the band. Dude, that's like dissing Neil fucking Peart or something himself, or, dude, you don't do it. That's like fucking dissing Bobby Caldwell, Captain Beyond, or Carl Palmer with the LP. Dude, Larz, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about when you dissed Thick as a Brick, Aqualung, Benefit. This band, dude, this progressive rock concept of a band that makes one genius album right after the next, you guys. Jethro fucking Tull, Thick as a Brick. How dare you, Larz? And maybe you, Hetfield, James Hetfield, I think he chimed in. I'm not sure if Newstead or Kirk Hammett said anything. I don't think they did, because, dude, they're smarter than that. They don't diss Jethro Tull at all, dude. You don't even slightly sneeze around Jethro Tull. Not the band, you guys, that did Thick as a Brick. No way, dude. And what an album this is. Now, the cover here takes me back, of course, to the Four Seasons Gazette. They both have like a newspaper for a cover. No doubt this album was influenced by that cover, of course. I thought of doing that with GE, the Greenhouse Effect, like the Daily Breeze. Yeah, I ripped it off from this. Come on, and that too. Where, I did these mock fake stories about Clark the Shark or the LA Times or some shit. But this was genius, you guys. Why would Lars Ulrich and or James Hetfield not stop themselves and think, when you're dissing Jethro Tull, it's like you're fucking dissing Led Zeppelin or The Who or, Yes or something, dude, or Sabbath, or you don't fucking do that, Lars. I mean, me, Clark the Shark, I can diss shit. If I want to diss Zeppelin or anybody, dude, I can have fun doing it, but I'm always going to come back and say, hey, you guys, it really is good. I was just kidding. I'm not going to peel off some one-liner or some shit like, oh, they were never a metal band. Well, dude, hold on. Back up, Lars. What are you saying, dude? Well, Sharky, it was a metal award. No, it was hard rock and or metal. And Lars got his panties all bent out of joint and his nose or whatever the fuck. Dude, you don't diss Jethro Tull. And sadly now, like I said before, Jethro Tull is tainted forever. We're young kids in 2025, here today, Màrch 18th, Tuesday night, 2025. There's probably some young punk right now that's 17 years old that's like, dude, Jethro Tull, they suck. Lars hates them and he made fun of them. Dude, if you want to make fun of Pearl Jam, or douche Grohl, the creep who cheats on his wife. If you want to make fun of Blake Douchebag, go for it. And or if you want to make fun of Lars, one of the worst fucking drummers ever. And you guys should go to the one or two Metallica videos where they play live with a real drummer named Dave Lombardo. If you want to see a real fucking drummer. And if you want to see another real fucking drummer, it's Barrymore Barlow of Jethro Tull and Thick as a Brick, baby. What an album. Progressive rock, woodwind, amazing guitar, overdubs, concept. Almost like psychedelia, but no, of course not. This is 1972, early 70s. And I can't call Yes, ELP, Jethro Tull, and, Gentle Giant, and Eloy, and, Egg. I can't call them psychedelic, you guys. It was a new era. It's just really good, great, mentally expansive prog rock. Thick as a Brick, baby, Jethro Tull. An amazing album, and I want you to buy this, you guys. Clark the Shark. I want you to go to Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, everywhere they sell music, and I want you to buy Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull, and I want you to put a little note online when you buy the album and just write, or just type Larz fucking sucks in a little corner. If they ask you why you liked the product or what's your rating, rate this a 5 out of 5 stars, baby. I don't care what AllMusic, Rolling Stone, and all of them say, dude. I'll look just for whatever, you guys. Reception. I don't care. Dude, fuck that. You know, who gave it a 3 out of 5? The Encyclopedia of Popular Music gave it a 3 out of 5, but everyone else, dude, you know, is giving it. AllMusic gives it a 4.5. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. All right, AllMusic, and you know all this other shit. Record Collector, like a 4, solid 4. The Rolling Stone, come on, you know those fucking creeps. They have to like this shit. Dude, I don't. You guys forget what people say. The only thing that matters is what yours truly, your humble, humilified, full of humility and loving sharkraphone guy, not a microphone. I'm here daily for all of you to do the best reviews, the greatest reviews, the only one you will ever want, nor ever need. And or Clark the Shark, baby. Forget what Larz says, or James. Fuck them. They don't know Thick as a Brick, baby. I want you to buy Benefit, Aqualung, Thick as a Brick. Even the one with the ballerina, tainted though it is good, you guys. It's decent. Eventually, later on in their career, you know, what happens to a lot of bands, Jethro, Tull get a little, I don't know, they lose their way as they go. And they're not as good later, you know, when they try to keep going. But in the magical 1970s and late 60s, there was no better band than this one, you guys. And you tell them it was recommended that you buy Thick as a Brick and all their albums by Clark the Shark. It's important, you guys, to come to the Clark the Shark show. Talk Radio Extreme. It's more important to be here than at Rogan. He just learned about right versus left, and a lot of people did. When Trump won the election a while ago, a lot of people are like, what's going on with our country? And the voters are like, dude, we're not fucking voting for Kamala. That's stupid. There's a lot of people in the dark, dude. They're like, you know, they think like Larz. I'll bet you Larz, Ulrich, and James were voting for Kamala. You want to make a bet, you guys? I'll bet you they were. Right here on the fabulous, amazing, incredible, fair and biased Clark the Shark Talk radio show, baby, where I was number one worldwide at WABC Radio, but they did a psychological evaluation and they deemed me inappropriate and unfit for radio. And not only that, they fired me from WABC Radio New York, where I was number one, but they also kicked me off SSDI. And they said, Sharky, we don't believe you that you have skin cancer. You're just making it up. You know, Weenie paid me what, $8,000 plus another $90,000. Fucking lawyers took like half of it. Hey, SSA, Social Security admin, if I don't have skin cancer right now and I need to do a psych evaluation, this sounds like something new that maybe Elon Musk and Doge are doing to everyone. I got to go down to downtown San Diego and do a mental psych evaluation like I'm trying out to be a police sheriff or some shit, all because Elon Musk thinks I'm faking and I really don't have skin cancer on my left wrist. Well, we will see what the Oceanside Clinic says. on April 18th at 3 p.m. SSA. And as for you, Larz, for turning me in and reporting me, all because you don't know fucking shit about Jethro Tull. And you sucked in the Ruddles, by the way, dude. You were horrible. Pete Best was way better. They should have kept him. The birds screaming would have covered, I admit, you guys, Pete wasn't the greatest drummer, but all the birds screaming, it would have covered him up, especially at Shea Stadium and Candlestick Park. They never would have heard Pete Best, you guys. And in the studio, you could have brought in Larz and filled in, and no one would have even noticed. Matter of fact, you could have brought in Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page to lay down the guitars and not even had Dirk or Ron Nasty play. George Martin, Brian Epstein. You could have replaced the whole band. You could have brought in John Paul Jones and fucking Pete Townsend in the butt, dude. You didn't need to fire Pete, all because Ron and Dirk McQuickley were like, oh, he's a lousy drummer. Well, we took him to Hamburg because we couldn't get anyone else. See what happens, Dirk, when you give a guy like Larz a little power and just a little leeway and a little headway. Look at the fucking damage a guy like Larz Ulrich can do later on, right here on the Clark the Shit Show. When Larz has the audacity to turn me in for a psych evaluation, and not only that, he got me fired from WABC Radio, and he kind of got Ian Anderson fired, too, as a great classic all-time musician. Today, it's tainted. People think of Jimmy Page as great, or Pete Townsend, or, Geddy Lee. But now they don't think of Ian Anderson and all those other guys, maybe not even Barrymore Barlow, because Larz said, oh, they're lousy and they never were metal. Oh, dude, I'll fucking get a load of Larz. What a genius. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show, the fabulous, incredible Clark the Shark radio dynamo. It's not a show, you guys. It's not just a mere show. It's a review of Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. This incredible, amazing band, one of the greatest bands of all times, plural. Forget what Larz says. Me, I, yours truly, Clark the Shark. I'm telling you to go buy Thick as a Brick, 1972. Even more than The Who, Who's Next, or Zeppelin, dude, or the Stones, Mick and Keith and the Blunders, and, dude, Sticky Fingers and all that shit. Fuck that, dude. Get into Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull if you want to hear fucking great music. And don't listen to Larz or Metallica. You know what, dude? Only listen up to fucking Injustice. And after that, their whole fucking career sucks. I don't just mean their albums. I mean them live, too. Everything about them. They're a fucking joke. And it's mainly all because of a guy named Larz on drums who can't fucking drum at all. You heard it here, not first. You hear millions of people online say this. I, Clark the Shark, didn't invent it. But I will tell you to buy Thick as a Brick, baby. Fuck Larz. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. Get it and love it. And I'm out, people.